I get up early in the morning, money on my mind, yeah, it's peak. Looking at my wrist, yeah, it's gliding, my wrist is sweet. 5 messages on my phone from a couple freaks telling me to squirt and deep throat. Now I'm on heat. Gotta pack my bed, couple press ups, change the sheets, tidied up the flat, the White House. Now it's looking neat. Come out of the bath looking for something to eat. Cream on my skin, cocoa butter got me smelling sweet. Open up my cupboard, swag mode. I'm a matching freak, pulled out a suit. You can tell it costs mad loot. When they see me swaggered up, they say,
Hi, I'm LB. I'm a level 5 film student. I'm doing a documentary on straw man, straw woman, birth certificates, driver license and passports. We're also going to look up the words person and registering and interview some people that can shed some light on the subject.
Ah, the government. It loves you and wants to keep you safe and well. It even wants to make paying taxes, fines, and court costs easier for you. How? Well, you'll need to meet your straw man. He was born the same day you were. He looks like you, has the same name, and lives in your house, but you never knew he existed. You will have even paid his parking tickets or taxes. The worst part? He's been dead from day one. From every birth certificate, a legal personality, or legal fiction, is created with the same name to confuse little old you into thinking it's you. So, there is a human you and a paper you, or as it's commonly known, a straw man. So when it seems like government officials, court clerks, or the police are speaking English, they aren't. They're speaking legalese, designed to make you agree to verbal and written contracts without even knowing about it, all spun from Black's Law Dictionary. For example, when the police say, "Do you understand?" you'll say, "Yes." What they are really saying is, "Do you stand under our authority?" Oops-a-daisy, you just created a verbal contract with them. Oh, you clever government.
A strong man? Well, the only thing that springs to mind is a scarecrow.
If you've never heard of the terms legal fiction or straw man, then what you're about to learn is something that sounds so astonishing that it couldn't possibly be true. If I were to tell you that paying your tax, getting a driver's license, registering your car, paying fines, and attending court are all optional and that you are conned into agreeing with them, what would you think? All statutes and acts are optional too. Your straw man is a fictitious legal entity created at your birth through your birth certificate and the registration of that birth.
This is my friend. He knows a little bit about straw man and stuff. He did a little research, so let's see what he has to say.
Well, I don't know much about it, but what the little that I do know, it's a fiction.
Fiction?
Yeah. It's
What
not
do you
real.
mean fiction? It's not real?
It's not real. It's not you.
It's not you, basically.
But they want you to think it's you.
Okay.
They want you to take liability and responsibility for the name, the all caps name.
The all caps?
Yeah, the
Could you
birth
break
certificate, the straw man.
I don't know what a straw woman is. Passport gets me out of the country for a couple of weeks every year. Passport, driving licence helps me drive, and birth certificate, I need that for my nationality.
Do you know what a straw man is?
Not really.
No idea what the straw man is about, but passport, birth certificate, I think it's good because it's unique to everybody's identity.
I don't know what a paper man is.
Straw man?
Or straw man.
Okay.
Birth certificate is basically dating when you were born.
Okay.
Driving license, it basically states that obviously you can drive.
Do you know what a straw woman is?
No.
Straw man. Do you know what a straw man is?
No, I don't.
It seems that a lot of people don't know what a straw man is. I wonder if it's linked to birth certificates. What do you think? So, what do you know about birth certificates? Do you think, like, there's things we should know about it? Like, you know, what the government don't really explain to us? Like, I've done a bit of research and I've come up with some things and I don't really understand. So I just want to know what you think about it.
Well, from my knowledge, the birth certificate is not as easy as what people try to make it out to be. Obviously, it's a certificate that shows that you've been born, But if you think about it, you've been born anyway, so why would you need a certificate to show that you've been born?
What do you know about birth certificates? I think like there's other things behind it and stuff like that when it's saying like, you know what I mean, informant on there and stuff like that. I think like it's more or less of a business. What do you think?
I think the same thing as you think. I think it's a business, and I think it's part of a scam, right? And part of a control system.
Control, yeah.
Right? So that's how I feel about it. That's how I see it.
Do you know that whenever you register something, you are handing over title to the person you register it with? That's right. Whenever you register something with the government, they assume it belongs to them. Registered your car? Super! Now you are the registered keeper of your vehicle, and the government can crush it when you don't pay your, straw man's taxes.
Do you know what registering means?
Register. Well, when you register something, then you register to say that you're here, or you register what you're there to do.
Do you drive?
I drive.
Have you ever looked on your registration paper for your vehicle? Do you know that it actually says registered keeper? It doesn't say registered owner.
No, registered keeper, yes.
Exactly. So if you own the car, why are you the keeper?
Because I get to keep it. No. I've got the ownership of it.
Okay, but you know it's because you registered it.
So, oh, that's interesting. I've never even see. These are things that slightly fascinate me because registered keeper. Why is it not registered owner? Yeah, that's true.
Look, it's right in your face. There you go, plain and simple. It says registered keeper. So whoever owns cars, you don't own your own car. You're just the keeper. So you've seen some clips and you've seen some interviews, you know, about straw man and stuff, about registering. Are you convinced or are you not convinced? Well, I'm going to go on YouTube and show you some clips. There's someone I want you to see. His name's John Harris. He's actually a free man. Let's hear what he has to say. Maybe he can break it down so we can understand better.
You submit a registration of application. Submission is to bend to someone else's will. Yeah? You register, when you register something, you hand over possession of it, and when you apply, you're begging. And it's implied that you know what you're begging for. Look the words up yourself. Look it up for yourself. And it works with houses, it works with cars, it works with children. Anything you register, you have given away possession of it. A lady had her 4 children taken away, and about 2 or 3 days later, the social services brought one of the children back. And when the mother questioned the social services, said, well, the reason we brought the child back is because we don't own it. You never registered it at birth.
In essence, when you were born and far too young to understand, a company with your name was created through your birth certificate. When your parents registered your birth, they actually created a company and handed ownership of that company and you over to the state. It is important to remember that your parents were tricked and had no idea this was happening. This is why the state can take children from their families and it not be classed as kidnapping.
So when we register our children...
You put them in slavery. You just don't know.
They become a bonded slave.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Exactly.
I am I. My person has a name. I'm not a name. But driver's license, passports, birth certificates, they're just business. It's all business.
A business, yeah?
Yeah, it's all business. It's all commerce. They have many uses. But you have to understand that you can do other things with them than just travel.
When each person is born, whenever a human being is born, there's 2 entities. One is the real entity, which is the human being, the flesh and blood, and the other is a legal fiction, a fictional entity that is nothing more than a piece of paper, the birth certificate. Again, we're duped into believing that these are one in the same, and so we're tricked into representing the legal fiction, the straw man, that birth certificate. So when people get fines and things like that, it's actually consulting the legal fiction, the non-existent entity, the corporate entity that is owned by corporations.
And what did you start discovering? What were the things that you first of all became aware of that kind of set you on the path to becoming a free man?
Okay, there's a classic example in the latest Black's Law Dictionary 8, and they define a person, and they say a natural person. How can you define a word with a word? How can you define that word with the same word? You can't. It's a mockery. If you go in Black's Law Dictionary 3, you'll see that person is a fiction. It's the birth certificate that is the main, it's the problem.
All right, we seem to have segued into that. Let's get on to the birth certificate thing, because that's on my list of things to ask you about.
Right, well, birth certificate basically is the creation of the fiction, the creation of an entity that
This is the difference between a person and a human being. So
but
this happens
yeah.
when you register the child?
Yeah, but you're told you've got to register the child. You're told you must. Now, in legalese terms, in the Law Society terms, must is synonymous with the word may. So you've been given a choice. Because at the end of the day, it's a statute. If you don't register after 42 days, they reckon you get £1,000, or whatever they reckon, right? The truth of it is that you'll get about an £8 fine. A year later, the Attorney General will actually write you a letter to say, would you like to register your child? I come to the determination of is this, and this is very simple. Under contract law, a birth certificate was done on your behalf. But it's a contract at the end of the day.
But it's not made with my cooperation, is it? Because at the age of whatever, a few days...
So that being the preamble document to create the fiction, that means that every document off of that is null and void. It's illegal, it's void.
What I'm asking you is, how do you reconcile being free with being a recipient of some of the benefits of the society?
I don't use doctors nor hospitals. I don't use anything.
But that's perhaps because you're fortunate enough to be healthy. But what if you become unhealthy? What if you need...
If I become unhealthy, I become unhealthy for a reason.
But you can't survive without money, can you?
I do survive pretty much without money. Yeah, it's hard. It's very, very difficult. But I've made a commitment to what I do.
The Church of England a corporation?
Yeah. They're all Westminster Abbey's corporation in its own right.
Westminster Abbey,
House of Parliament, Members of Parliament, House of Lords, Privy Council. Social Services is actually PLC.
OK.
Which is interesting. Check them out, Dun & Bradstreet.
My conclusion is, it's all about business. It's all about money. It's all about corporations. It's all about knowing things what other people don't know. You've seen the interviews and stuff. I've asked people about straw man and stuff. I've showed clips to let you see. I've showed John Harris. They've explained everything. I don't expect you to just believe everything what I'm saying. It's out there. The information's there for you to seek yourself. The only thing I'm doing is just trying to make people aware of it. That your birth certificate, your passport, your driving license, there's more to it. It's not that you just got a birth certificate, passport, driving license and you just use it. There's other stuff we don't know about it. Because how the system is run, we don't get to question properly, we just follow pursuit. So the people that don't follow pursuit are the people that actually own it. Check it out for yourself. You don't have to believe it, or you can believe it. Thank you.
I won't pull it in your face, only if I have to. Yeah, I used to move with them boys that will jack you. We ain't men in black, but we had black tracksuits. Rolling up marijuana, billing up a fat zoo. Bloodshot, red eyes, paranoid black youths. Can get Range Rover, paranoid black youths. You can get Range Rover, billing up a fat zoo. Can get Range Rover, paranoid black youths. You can get Range Rover, billing up a fat zoo. Came from the dirt.